Okay, so once again, we're back with one of my exclusive in-depth scouting reports. We know by now I'm lying. Thank you very much, Nigel. Don't worry, it's not really that in-depth. It's just a few questions. I think we're talking about Matt Rush, who was with you guys last season. And just want to know a little bit what you thought about him as a fan. And I think you do the Stones TV as well.
Stones Live, yeah, and basically that's the match day broadcasting and any other sort of media stuff around the club as well. You know, we all pitch in and help out where we can.
Yeah. So you'll actually have quite a few of these. So can you tell us a little bit about Matt, his playing style, and the kind of impact? I mean, I know there's lots of goals, but the kind of impact they had at the time at your club.
Yeah, well, we kind of signed him after the season started. Really, he started the season at Averley, and he scored, I believe, 6 goals. 6 goals for Averley, but he had something like 11 or 12 assists when he came to us. And we started the season with a striker called Levi Amanchi, who we sort of plucked from non-league. He was a sort of Brackley and the likes last year, so he was a bit of an unknown quantity, but he hit the ground running. So he was with us at the beginning of the season, and he scored something like 20 goals before the end of November. But he was like a tall striker. So Matt Rush came in sort of towards the end of November. It was literally the day before our FA Cup first round tie against Chesham. He was signed. Hence, he was cup tied, so he couldn't come straight into the team. But he overlapped Levi for about 3 or 4 weeks, I think it was, because Levi got injured in the Barrow FA Cup game, and then he was sold to Bromley subsequently after that. So Matt Rush got his first goal away at St Albans, and then he just went on a scoring spree. Really, he was a different kind of player to Levi. Levi was a tall, sort of like 6 foot plus player that, you know, a bit more than a head on a stick, but you know, his size got him into the positions, and you know, he just had a purple patch where he just started scoring. Whereas Matt Rush is more of a player that can really play anywhere along the front three, which was playing three sort of forwards at that point. And he's just the kind of player that likes to run in behind. You know, he said it on his interview when he signed for you guys that, you know, that's the kind of player he is. He likes to just get in behind, make them runs onto them balls. And he did kind of take over from where Levi left off. We then sort of started playing sort of wing back system, and we brought in Mo Fowl as well. So they're sort of playing in tandem to the two up top, and that did kind of work well. And he ended the season by getting 15 goals for us and 3 assists. So, you know, it kind of turned around a little bit, really. But I think he's, you know, he said before he signed for you guys, or when he signed for you guys, that he's looking forward to working with your manager because he was a forward. So everyone knows we've got George Lacobi as our manager, and he was a defender. But his assistant is Craig Fagan, and he himself is a sort of ex-Premier League forward. I think he played for Derby and Hull City in the Premier League. And I think he'd done a lot of work with him because he knew him from his Southend days. So it was kind of like that transition, and he just became more selfish. Really, he did sort of go. I say he scored that first goal against St Albans, and he went on like a little bit of a purple patch where he just got sort of going games. But I think it was difficult because we was in the FA Cup and he was cup tied. He was often to come in and out of the squad all the time, and it's sort of like, you know, strikers like to have a run of games, don't they? Well, any player does, really. If you're a goalie or a centre back or whatever, you know, games, you know, you can get into games. But you know, he started every game that he was available. I think he was subbed for 1 game, and you know, to have a season like he's had, you know, he's just going to sort of progress. I think more going to Sutton in the National League as well. You know, because it'll complement your other forward. He's just that tenacity sort of a player that's just going to run and close down and press from the front, and you know, try and pick up on the errors of the defenders. And he's not the quickest. He's not like Usain Bolt quick, but he's got pace to give himself that couple of yards to get away from defenders. And when crosses come in the box, he can just make that break and just either tap it in or for such a small guy as well. I think he scored something like 4 or 5 headers in those goals.
Right.
So
Wow.
he certainly he put himself about. So yeah, I think it's going to be a good signing for him. I think it's just that progression, and you guys coming down as well.
Mm-hmm.
And from the signings that you look like you're making, I think he'll complement your squad, and whether that be as a starter or coming off the bench and sort of scoring goals later on. So
giving us options, that'll be nice, because it was a bit same old every week. If you knew everyone who was fit, you knew who was playing.
Yeah.
So you've kind of touched on this one. Have we signed someone that we can pop straight in the side, or do we need to have a bit of patience to see him deliver? And what kind of strengths and weaknesses is there?
Yeah, I think he puts a step right inside. I mean, he's played. I think he did play in the league for Southend, but that was when they were sort of like they had that double relegation. Mm-hmm. They dropped from League One straight through League Two, and so that and it was around about the COVID time. And I say he was working there with Craig Fagan at that time. So there's certainly, I think he's. Yeah, I think there's more to come, but I think he would be in and around the first team, definitely. I think he's that kind of a player. That's kind of what makes him like a fan's favourite. I mean, all the fans kind of want him to stay, just because you can see the effort that he puts in. Do you know what I mean? He'll put that effort in, and he'll always run and close down, even if it seems like a lost cause. He'll go in and just try and get something there, or create space for others, which is another thing that he does. He's very similar to. We had, when we won the National South a couple of years ago, we had a player called Jack Barham, who's now gone off and he's playing Aldershot now. And he's that kind of, he's never going to be your 20 goal a season player, but he'll get you double digits and he'll get you assists as well. And he'll kind of get you assists, but just for the runs that he makes.
Yeah.
So then obviously that creates a space for others to sort of come into. So I just think he's just going to be an all-round team player, that someone that you can either start or as I say, come off the bench and make an impact late on.
Excellent. Clubs like us, we all know it's not just what goes on the pitch. So you'll probably have a bit more insight on this with the media work. How did he come across off the pitch? Was there much interaction with the fans, like especially the younger ones with the photos and whatnot?
Oh yeah. I think that's just a given with any player that in our squad now, because George Elokobi is so big on that. I don't know if you've been to the Gallagher Stadium and seen a game there, but the tunnel sort of at the side, and a lot of the youngsters sort of stand around the tunnel when they come off, or the pitch side, and all the players. I think that's just a given that George was inbred in them. Especially the cup run that we went on. It brought everybody together, and that's going to be an interesting thing as well for because although Matt Rush wasn't playing in those games, he knew he wasn't playing in those games, but George was very big on keeping the squad together. So he went on all the overnight stays they had together, all that sort of team bonding sort of thing. So he was always there and thereabouts, and he was on the pitch with the team before the game. But obviously they knew they wasn't playing because they were cup tied. But to experience that, maybe that's kind of giving him that hunger to do it with Sutton. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean. Because coming through from National South, as you know as well, you have to have 3-4 qualifying games before you can get to the first round. Whereas with where you are in the National League, you've only got that one game. So
the one now, yeah.
There's only that. There's an incentive to go on there and maybe bring that sort of experience that he had there, because it's not every day that you go to Ipswich, and he was in and around the team. So that's sort of like hopefully would fuel that sort of hunger to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you very, very much, Nigel. That's really insightful. Good luck for the season, obviously, unless we draw you in the cup, but good luck for the whole season. And take care. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Enjoy your season.